Ciao! This is Ciao, and I'm going to explore the concept of identity with you today. According to Louis Althusser in 1970, identity or individuality refers to the processes of self-definition, and the term subjectivity is to describe the ways we are positioned, defined, and sometimes pigeonholed by social institutions or social actors. While so, the social order is much like identity, and not every society creates the same subject positions or endows them with the same meanings. Indeed, the social order itself is fragmented and demands that we perform different roles in different social settings. For instance, the home, the school, or a restaurant each carries its own rules of decorum, which we are expected to have known and adhere to. However, we can refuse to occupy the positions marked out for us, or we may perform the positions ironically or strategically to get what we want or need, and that's when identity comes in handy. Let's take politicians, for example, and particularly Donald Trump. During the election, he portrayed himself as this aggressive, white supremacist Republican, and that is a tenuous performance he kept along his campaign. So contrary to our predictions, this performance brought about the infamous identity that got him votes. However, is this the real identity of Donald Trump? He promised a lot of wild things, like deporting all illegal immigrants, or building a border wall and make Mexicans pay for it, or even prosecuting Hillary Clinton. He got none of those done. It was all a part of this performance that he put a pause to when he became the President of the United States. So what is the deal with identity? Judith Butler, who is an American philosopher and gender theorist, views identity as a performance behind which there is no unified, coherent, or fixed self. Rather, the social agent is produced through the performance, so that the performance creates the subject, not the other way around. She uses gender as her primary example. For Butler, we do not identify as a member of gender first, then go out and act according to a cultural script. Rather, we act first, and based on the consistency of our performance, we are ascribed a gender identity. We do not have a gender, we do gender, and we enact it day by day. So another question is posed. How does the way we do identity relate to power, privilege, and social mobility? We can answer that by asking whose perspective is exnominated, which means taken for granted, whose is a structuring absence. We can also have a commutation test, which is flipping the terms of the representation to determine the range of roles available for different social group. Let's take an example from Harry Potter. Since this is considered a children's book, all characters are impetuously taken for granted as heterosexual beings. So when J.K. Rowling, the author, revealed that the beloved Dumbledore is gay, upset a lot of people. Therefore, the fact that a character can be homosexual was exnominated out of the equation. And in general, what is exnominated or unnamed in a text can tell us something about whose identity and perspective are being privileged, who has power and who does not. We've come to an end of this vlog, and to sum things up, let's recount, and I'll quote from Stacy Tikak's book of interrogating popular culture key questions. Number 1. Identity is not a property or essence we possess, but a tenuous performance we give for an audience whose expectations shape our actions. Number 2. Identity always involves a tension between self-definition and social definition. Social norms, ideologies, and discourses try to pigeonhole us into a limited set of roles. We have some say in determining which roles we will take up and how. We can say instances like Donald Trump belong to the popular culture, which is both a mechanism through which social roles are constructed and an instrument people may use to elaborate or challenge those roles. That's it for this video, and thank you for watching. Ciao for now!